Hey there, I'm Elon Musk. I'm the guy who spent his life chasing the impossible, building electric cars that can outrun gas guzzlers, launching rockets to Mars, and dreaming of a future where humanity isn't stuck on one tiny blue dot. I'm no relationship guru, but I know a thing or two about tackling complex systems, breaking through barriers, and finding truth in chaos. Today, I'm here to talk to you, brilliant, powerful women, about something that might seem like a paradox. Why, when a man truly loves you, he might ignore you. Buckle up because we're diving into the cosmos of human connection, and it's going to be one hell of a ride. Love isn't a straight line. It's not a simple equation you can solve with a calculator or a neat little algorithm. It's more like launching a Falcon Heavy into orbit. There are moments of intense thrust, moments of eerie silence, and vast stretches of space where you're just waiting to see if you'll hit the right trajectory. When a man loves you deeply, he won't always be glued to your side, texting you every 5 minutes or showering you with constant attention. And that's not because he doesn't care. It's because real love, the kind that lasts, isn't about clinging, it's about orbiting. It's about giving each other room to shine as individual stars while still being pulled together by an invisible force. Let's get real for a second. You've probably been taught that love is all about closeness, about never ending reassurance, about a guy who's always there, ready to validate your every feeling. But let's flip that script. Think bigger. Love isn't some background app on your phone pinging you with notifications every second. It's a gravitational pull, a cosmic dance between two people who are strong enough to stand on their own but choose to share their orbit. When he steps back, when he goes quiet, when he seems to ignore you, it's not a rejection. It's a test, not a cruel game, but a natural, instinctive challenge to see if you're the kind of woman who can hold her own in the vastness of space. I've spent my life building things that people said couldn't be done. When I started SpaceX, folks laughed at the idea of a private company sending rockets to space. When Tesla was on the brink of bankruptcy, people told me to give up, but I didn't. I kept my eyes on the mission, stayed focused, and pushed through the noise. Love is no different. When he pulls back, when he doesn't respond to that text right away, don't let it throw you off course. Don't start questioning your worth or chasing after him like a satellite desperate for a signal. Instead, see it as your moment to shine, to prove that you're not just a passenger in his story, you're a force of nature, a star with your own light. Here's the deal. A man who truly loves you doesn't want you to be a moon, forever tethered to his planet, reflecting his light. He wants you to be a sun, blazing with your own energy, commanding your own space. When he ignores you, it's not because he's lost interest, it's because he's watching to see if you'll keep shining even when he's not there to fuel your glow. It's his subconscious way of asking, is she strong enough to be her own person? Can she hold her ground when the signal goes quiet? And let me tell you, the way you answer that question will define everything. Think about it like this. When I'm designing a rocket, every component has to be tested under extreme conditions. We don't just assume it'll work, we put it through fire, pressure, and uncertainty to make sure it's unbreakable. Love works the same way. A man who's serious about you needs to know that you're not going to crumble when things get tough. He needs to see that you've got your own mission, your own purpose, your own fire that burns no matter what. If you panic at the first sign of silence, if you start chasing him down with texts or demands for attention, you're showing him that your light depends on his presence. And that's not the kind of woman who inspires a man to commit for the long haul. Let's zoom out for a moment. In my world, success isn't about playing it safe. It's about taking risks, pushing boundaries, and trusting that you've got what it takes to handle whatever comes next. When I launched the first Tesla Roadster, people thought I was nuts. Electric cars were a joke back then, but I didn't care about the naysayers. I believed in the vision. In love, you need that same kind of audacity. When he steps back, don't let it shake you. Don't let it make you doubt your worth. Instead, use it as fuel to propel yourself forward. Ask yourself, what's my mission? What's the big, bold thing I'm building in my life? Because a woman who's focused on her own goals, who's chasing her own dreams, is a woman who's magnetic. I've failed more times than I can count. SpaceX's first three launches were disasters, rockets blowing up, millions of dollars down the drain, but I didn't let those failures define me. I learned, I adjusted, and I kept going. In love, you've got to do the same. When he goes quiet, don't see it as a failure. See it as data. It's telling you something about yourself, about him, about the dynamic between you. Are you the kind of woman who falls apart when she doesn't get instant validation? Or are you the kind of woman who says, I've got this, and keeps building her empire? The answer to that question is what separates the women who get chased from the women who do the chasing. Here's a truth bomb. A man who loves you wants to be inspired by you. He doesn't want a clingy partner who needs him to feel complete. He wants a woman who's already whole, who's out there building something epic, whether it's a career, a passion, or a life that makes her light up. When he pulls back, it's your chance to show him that you don't need his attention to shine. You're not waiting for his approval to launch your rocket, you're already halfway to the stars. And when he sees that, when he feels the gravity of your independence, he'll be drawn to you in a way that words can't explain. Let me paint a picture. Imagine you're standing on the launch pad of your life. The rocket is you, your dreams, your goals, your passions. His silence, his distance is like the countdown before liftoff. It's tense, it's uncertain, but it's also the moment that defines whether you're ready to soar. If you start second guessing yourself, if you start scrambling to get his attention, you're aborting the mission before it even begins. But if you stay focused, if you trust in your own power, you'll launch into something extraordinary. And trust me, he'll notice. He'll feel the pull of your energy, the weight of your presence, even from a million miles away. I've always believed that the future belongs to those who dare to build it. In love, that means building yourself first. Don't let his silence make you feel small. Let it remind you how big you are. Let it push you to chase your own dreams with the same intensity I chase interplanetary travel. Because when you're living a life that excites you, when you're driven by a purpose bigger than any one person, you become unstoppable. You become the kind of woman who doesn't just attract love, you command it. So here's my challenge to you. Stop waiting for his signal. Stop looking for his validation to tell you you're enough. You're already enough. You're a force, a creator, a visionary in your own right. When he ignores you, don't chase him. Don't beg for his attention. Instead, turn inward and ask, what's my mission? What's the one thing I'm put on this earth to do? And then go do it with everything you've got. Build a life so incredible that he can't help but want to be a part of it. That's how you win not just his heart, but your own. This isn't about playing games um, or manipulating anyone. It's about owning your power. It's about realizing that love isn't about filling a void. It's about two people, each with their own fire, coming together to create something even bigger. When you live like that, when you embrace your own strength, you'll find that the right man won't just love you, he'll respect you, admire you, and never want to let you go. So go out there and build your universe. The stars are waiting. All right, ladies, let's dive back into this. I'm Elon Musk, and I'm here to talk about love as if it's a mission to colonize Mars, because in a way it is. It's unpredictable, it's challenging, and it demands every ounce of your courage to get it right. Today, we're going to talk about why a man who loves you might pull back, go silent, or seem to ignore you. It's not because he's lost interest. It's because love, real love, is a test, a cosmic stress test to see if you've got the strength to hold your own in the vastness of the universe. And trust me, you do. You just need to believe it and act like it. Picture this. When we were building the Starship, we didn't just slap some metal together and hope it would fly. We tested every component under insane conditions, blazing heat, crushing pressure, the works. Why? Because anything worth building has to withstand the toughest challenges. Love is no different. When a man steps back, when he doesn't reply to your text or seems distant, it's not a sign he's done with you. It's the universe's way of testing your resilience. He's not doing it to hurt you. It's his instincts kicking in, asking one critical question: can you stand tall when the ground feels shaky? Can you keep your course when the signal goes quiet? Here's the truth. A man who's serious about you doesn't want a partner who collapses at the first hint of uncertainty. He wants a woman who's like a Tesla battery pack, built to endure, ready to power through any storm. When he pulls back, it's not because he's trying to push you away. It's because he needs to know you're not just along for the ride, you're a co-pilot, someone who can handle the controls when the mission gets rough. And the way you pass that test isn't by chasing him or flooding his inbox with messages. It's by showing him you're unshakable, that your strength doesn't depend on his constant presence. Let's talk about what happens when you don't pass the test. I've seen it in engineering, and I've seen it in life. When we rushed a rocket launch without enough testing, it blew up spectacularly. When you rush to fill the silence in a relationship, when you panic and start chasing a man who's gone quiet, you're setting off an explosion of your own. Every desperate text, every plea for attention, every attempt to force a response screams one thing: insecurity. And nothing kills attraction faster than that. A man doesn't want to feel like he's your life support system. He wants to know you can breathe on your own, that you've got enough oxygen in your tank to navigate the void. I remember the early days of Tesla. We were bleeding cash, the Mo 1.0 S was behind schedule, and everyone thought we were doomed. I could have begged investors for more money or tried to sweet talk the skeptics. Instead, I doubled down on the mission. I focused on what I could control, building a car that would change the world. In love, you've got to do the same. When he goes quiet, don't try to control his actions or force his response. Focus on what you can control. You, your goals, your fire, your trajectory. Show him you're not just waiting for a signal to keep moving, you're already soaring. Here's where it gets interesting. A man who loves you isn't looking for someone who needs him to feel complete. He's looking for someone who's already a force of nature, someone who's out there building her own empire, whether it's a career, a passion project, or a life that lights her up. When he steps back, it's your chance to show him you're not just a passenger on his rocket, you're a rocket yourself. You've got your own propulsion system, your own destination. And when he sees that, when he feels the power of your independence, he'll be drawn to you like a satellite caught in a planet's orbit. Let me break it down with a story. Back when we were trying to land the Falcon 9 boosters, every failure was a lesson. Each crash taught us something new about aerodynamics, guidance systems, you name it. When a man pulls back, think of it as a crash test for your strength. It's not about him rejecting you, it's about what you learn about yourself. Are you the kind of woman who falls apart when things don't go as planned? Or are you the kind who analyzes the data, adjusts her approach, and comes back stronger? Every moment of silence is a chance to prove you're the latter. Now, I'm not saying this is easy. Building a reusable rocket isn't easy. Saving a company from bankruptcy isn't easy. And staying strong when a man you care about seems distant, that's a challenge worthy of a SpaceX engineer. But here's the secret. You're built for it. You've got the resilience, the creativity, the spark to handle it. When he goes quiet, don't fill the void with noise. Don't send a flurry of texts or try to force a connection. Instead, lean into the challenge. Use that silence to fuel your own mission. Go after that promotion, finish that book you've been writing, or take that trip you've always dreamed of. Show him and yourself that your world doesn't stop just because he's not in it. Think of love like a physics problem. Attraction isn't about pushing harder, it's about creating the right conditions for gravity to do its work. When you chase a man, when you try to force his attention, you're fighting against the natural pull of attraction. But when you step back, when you focus on your own path, you create a gravitational field so strong that he can't help but be drawn to you. It's not about playing hard to get, it's about being hard to ignore. It's about being a woman whose energy is so undeniable that he feels it even from 1,000 miles away. I've always believed that the greatest things in life come from embracing the unknown. When we launched the first crewed mission to the International Space Station, we didn't know if it would work. But we trusted the process, we trusted our team, and we trusted our vision. In love, you need that same trust. Trust in yourself, trust in your worth. Trust that if he's the right man, he'll see your strength and come back, not because you begged him to, but because he can't resist the pull of who you are. So here's my advice. When he ignores you, don't see it as a problem. See it as a launch window. It's your chance to show the world and him what you're made of. Don't wait for his signal to shine. Don't wait for his validation to feel powerful. You're already powerful. You're a force, a creator, a woman who can change the trajectory of her own life. Go build something extraordinary. Go chase your dreams with the same intensity I chase the stars. And when you do, you'll find that the right man won't just love you, he'll be in awe of you. All right, ladies, let's get to it. I'm Elon Musk, and I'm here to talk about love like it's a mission to revolutionize the world because frankly it is. I've spent my life building things that people said were impossible. Electric cars that could outpace gas, guzzlers, rockets that land themselves, tunnels that could redefine how we move. But here's the thing, none of that happened by following someone else's playbook. And in love, you can't just follow a man's lead and expect to build something extraordinary. When a man who loves you seems to ignore you, it's not a signal to chase him. It's a call to action, to lead your own mission, to captain your own ship, and to show him you're a force he can't ignore. Love isn't about tagging along in someone else's orbit. It's about two people, each with their own trajectory, coming together to create something bigger than the sum of their parts. When a man pulls back, when he goes silent or seems distant, he's not asking you to run after him. He's giving you space to show him who you are when you're not tethered to his presence. It's like when I'm designing a new Tesla model, I don't just copy what's out there, I redefine the game. In love, you need to do the same. Don't be the woman who follows his every move, waiting for his signal to act. Be the woman who charts her own course, who builds her own empire, and who makes him want to join your journey. Let's talk about what happens when you don't lead your own mission. I've seen it in business and I've seen it in life. When you try to piggyback on someone else's vision, when you let their goals dictate yours, you end up with a watered down version of what could have been great. Early on with SpaceX, we could have just built satellites like everyone else. Safe, predictable, boring. Instead, we aimed for reusable rockets. In love, if you make a man the center of your universe, if you drop everything to fit into his world, you're selling yourself short. You're not just diminishing your own potential, you're making yourself less attractive to the kind of man who values strength. When he ignores you, it's not a rejection, it's a moment to step up and show him you're not just a supporting character in his story, you're the protagonist of your own epic. Think about it like this. When we were developing the Hyperloop concept, we didn't wait for someone else to tell us it was possible. We dove in, explored the physics, and pushed the boundaries of what transportation could be. In love, you need that same boldness. When he goes quiet, don't start questioning your worth or trying to win his attention with grand gestures. Instead, ask yourself, what's my Hyperloop? What's the big, audacious thing I'm building in my life? And then go after it with everything you've got. I remember a time when Tesla was on the verge of collapse, production delays, supply chain nightmares, you name it. The easy thing would have been to cut corners, to follow the industry's playbook and churn out something mediocre. But that's not how you change the world. I stayed focused on the vision, electric vehicles that could redefine mobility. In love, you need that same focus. When he pulls back, don't let it derail you. Don't let his silence make you doubt your path. Instead, double down on your own goals. Whether it's starting a business, mastering a new skill, or just living a life that makes you proud, show him you're not waiting for his approval to move forward. Here's the deal. A man who loves you doesn't want you to be a shadow. He wants you to be a supernova, bright, bold, and impossible to ignore. When he steps back, it's not because he's lost interest. It's because his instincts are pushing him to see if you'll keep shining without him holding your hand. And the way you shine isn't by chasing him or begging for his attention. It's by leading your own mission. It's by showing him that your life is so full of purpose, so packed with passion, that he'd be a fool not to want to be part of it. Let's get practical for a second. Imagine you're working on a project that could change everything. Maybe it's a novel, a startup, or even a personal goal, like running a marathon. You're pouring your heart into it, staying up late, solving problems, pushing past setbacks. That's the kind of energy that makes you magnetic. When a man sees you in that zone, when he sees you driven by something bigger than him, he doesn't just love you, he respects you. And respect is the foundation of attraction. Without it, love fades faster than a cheap battery. I've always believed that the most powerful people are the ones who don't need permission to act. When we launched the first Crew Dragon mission, we didn't wait for NASA to hold our hand. We built the tech, tested it, and made it happen. In love, you need that same mindset. When he goes quiet, don't wait for him to give you the green light to feel good about yourself. Don't wait for his text to validate your worth. You're the CEO of your own life. Act like it. Make decisions, take risks, and build something so incredible that he can't help but want to invest in you. Here's a truth I've learned from building companies. The moment you start chasing someone else's approval, you've already lost. When Tesla was struggling, I didn't beg critics to believe in us. I let the cars speak for themselves. In love, you need to let your life speak for itself. When he pulls back, don't try to convince him you're enough. Show him by living a life that screams, I'm more than enough. Go after your dreams with the intensity of a rocket launch. Build a career that lights you up. Chase experiences that make your heart race. When you do that, you're not just a woman he loves, you're a woman he can't imagine living without. Let's zoom out. Love isn't about being someone's everything. It's about being everything to yourself first, then inviting someone to share in that greatness. When he ignores you, it's your chance to show him you're not just along for his ride, you're driving your own vehicle, and it's headed somewhere extraordinary. Think of it like this. If you were building a spaceship, would you stop everything just because one engineer didn't show up to a meeting number? You'd keep working, keep designing, keep pushing toward the stars. In love, you need that same relentless drive. So here's my challenge. Stop looking to him to define your path. Stop letting his silence slow you down. You're not here to follow, you're here to lead. Lead your career, lead your passions, lead your life. Build something so big, so bold, that he can't help but want to join you on the journey. Because a woman who leads her own mission isn't just loved, she's revered. She's the kind of woman who changes the game, who rewrites the rules, who makes a man say, I need to step up to be worthy of her. Go be that woman. The universe is watching. Ladies, it's Elon Musk here, ready to dive into the wild, uncharted territory of love with the same intensity we bring to building starships or boring tunnels through mountains. Today, we're talking about something that might sound counterintuitive, but is as critical as the laws of physics: the power of your absence. When a man who loves you seems to ignore you, when he goes quiet, pulls back, or leaves your texts unread, it's not a signal to panic or chase him down. It's an opportunity to wield one of the most potent forces in the universe: the gravitational pull of your own space. Your absence, when used wisely, can be more magnetic than any words or actions. Let's unpack this like we're reverse engineering a rocket engine. Love isn't a constant stream of noise. It's not about filling every moment with texts, calls, or reassurances. It's more like the silence between the stars, those vast, quiet expanses where the real magic happens. When a man steps back, it's not because he's done with you, it's because his instincts are craving something deeper, the chance to feel your presence even when you're not right there. Think about it like this. When we launched the Tesla Roadster into space, it wasn't the car itself that captured the world's imagination. It was the audacity of sending something into the void and letting it speak for itself. In love, your absence can speak louder than any words. It's your chance to show him you're not just a signal he can tune into, you're a force he can't ignore. I've learned this the hard way in my work. When SpaceX was trying to land our first Falcon 9 booster, we didn't succeed by overwhelming the system with more power or more noise. We succeeded by giving the rocket space to do its thing: precise calculations, careful timing, and trust in the process. When a man pulls back, it's tempting to fill that space with your presence, to text more, call more, or try to force a connection. But that's like overloading a rocket with too much fuel. It doesn't make it fly higher, it makes it crash. Instead, you need to give him the space to feel your absence, to sense the weight of what he's missing. That's where the real attraction kicks in. Here's the deal: a man who loves you isn't looking for someone who's always there, always available, always ready to jump at his call. He's looking for a woman who's so compelling, so full of her own energy, that her absence creates a void he can't help but want to fill. When you chase him, when you try to close that gap with desperate gestures, you're robbing him of the chance to miss you. You're short circuiting the very thing that makes love grow: the tension of distance. I've seen it in engineering sometimes. The best way to solve a problem is to step back, let the system breathe, and see what emerges. In love, it's the same. Step back, let him feel what life is like without your light. Let's talk about a moment from my own journey. When we were scaling up Tesla production, there were times when everything felt like it was falling apart: supply chain issues, missed deadlines, you name it. I could have micromanaged every detail, hovered over every team, and demanded constant updates, but that would have burned everyone out, including me. Instead, I learned to trust my team, to give them room to innovate, to let the system find its balance. In love, you need to do the same. When he goes quiet, don't try to micromanage his emotions. Don't try to force his response. Trust yourself enough to let your absence do the talking. Show him you're not afraid to stand alone, that your world doesn't collapse just because he's not in it. Here's where it gets real. Your absence is a mirror. It reflects your strength, your confidence, your independence. When you keep texting, keep calling, keep trying to pull him back, you're showing him you're afraid of losing him. And fear isn't attractive. It's like trying to launch a rocket with a faulty guidance system. It's not going to hit the target. But when you let him feel the space between you, when you let him sit with the quiet, you're showing him you're not afraid. You're showing him you're a woman who knows her worth, who doesn't need his validation to keep shining. And that kind of confidence, it's like a supernova. It's impossible to look away from. Think about this. When we sent that Tesla Roadster into space, it wasn't just about the car. It was about the story. It told a story of audacity, of pushing boundaries, of doing something so bold, it left the world in awe. When you embrace your absence, you're telling a story too. You're telling him you're not just a woman who loves him, you're a woman who loves herself, who's building a life so incredible that he'd be crazy not to want to be part of it. You're not begging for his attention, you're commanding it by being unapologetically you. Let's get practical. Say he hasn't texted back in a day, maybe two. Your instinct might be to double down, to send another message, to ask if he's okay or what's wrong. Resist that urge. Instead, go do something that makes you feel alive. Work on that project you've been putting off. Hit the gym and crush a workout. Plan a trip with friends. Whatever it is, make it something that reminds you of your own power. When you focus on your own growth, you're not just filling the silence, you're amplifying your own signal. You're becoming the kind of woman who doesn't just attract a man, she inspires him. I've always believed that the greatest things in life come from embracing the unknown. When we started Neuralink, we didn't have all the answers about how to connect the human brain to machines, but we dove in anyway, because that's how you make progress, by trusting the process, even when it's messy. In love, you need that same trust. Trust that your absence isn't a weakness, it's a strength. Trust that by giving him space, you're giving him the chance to see how much you matter. Trust that by focusing on your own path, you're creating a gravitational pull that's stronger than any words could ever be. Here's my challenge to you. The next time he goes quiet, don't fill the void with noise. Don't try to fix what isn't broken. Instead, lean into your own power. Go after your goals with the intensity of a rocket launch. Build a life that's so vibrant, so full of purpose, that he can't help but feel the pull of your absence. Because a woman who knows how to wield her own space isn't just loved, she's unforgettable. She's the kind of woman who doesn't just light up a room, she lights up the whole damn galaxy. Go be that woman. The universe is waiting for your spark. All right, ladies, it's Elon Musk here, diving back into the cosmic adventure of love with the same relentless drive we bring to colonizing Mars or reinventing transportation. Today, we're talking about something that's not just about winning a man's heart, it's about winning your own. When a man who loves you seems to ignore you, when he goes silent or pulls back, it's not a signal to doubt yourself or chase after him. It's a call to conquer your own universe, to build a life so bold and brilliant that you become the center of your own gravity. Love isn't about orbiting someone else, it's about becoming a star so bright that the right man can't help but be drawn into your light. Let's blast off. Love is a mission, and like any mission worth pursuing, it's not about the easy wins. It's about the grind, the vision, the audacity to keep pushing forward even when the path is unclear. When a man steps back, when he leaves your text unanswered or seems distant, it's not because you're not enough. It's because the universe is giving you a chance to prove that you're more than enough. You're a force, a creator, a woman who can build her own world. Think of it like this. When we were designing the Boring Company's tunnels, we didn't just dig holes. We reimagined how people move, how cities function. In love, you need to reimagine yourself, not as someone waiting for his signal, but as someone who's already rewriting the rules of what's possible. I've spent my life tackling problems that seem insurmountable. When we started SpaceX, the idea of a private company landing rockets was a joke. When Tesla was bleeding cash, people said electric cars would never go mainstream. But I didn't let the skeptics define me. I focused on the mission, on building something that would outlast the noise. In love, you need that same focus. When he goes quiet, don't let it throw you off. Don't let it make you question your value. Instead, see it as your launch pad, a moment to propel yourself towards something bigger, something that makes you feel alive. A man who loves you doesn't want you to shrink when he's not around. He wants you to expand, to fill the space with your own energy, to show him you're a star he can't look away from. Here's the truth. Love isn't about being someone's everything. It's about being everything to yourself first, then inviting someone to share in that greatness. When a man pulls back, it's not a sign to chase him or prove your worth. It's a sign to double down on your own journey. Think about what drives you. What's the one thing that gets you out of bed in the morning, that makes your heart race, that makes you feel like you're changing the world? Maybe it's your career, maybe it's a creative project, maybe it's just the way you show up for the people you love. Whatever it is, pour yourself into it. Let that be your fuel. Because when you're living a life that excites you, you don't need his validation to shine. You're already a supernova. Let me tell you a story. When we were building the Gigafactory for Tesla, it was a logistical nightmare. Thousands of moving parts, tight deadlines, and a million ways it could have gone wrong. I could have spent my days worrying about every detail, trying to control every outcome. Instead, I focused on the big picture, creating a factory that would power the future of sustainable energy. In love, you need that same perspective. When he ignores you, don't get lost in the details. Don't obsess over why he hasn't texted or what he's thinking. Zoom out. Focus on the big picture. Your life, your goals, your mission. Show him you're not just reacting to his silence, you're creating something so extraordinary that his silence becomes irrelevant. Here's where it gets powerful. A man who loves you is watching how you handle the quiet moments. He's not testing you to be cruel, he's testing you because his instincts want to know if you're the kind of woman who can stand tall when the world feels uncertain. It's like when we test a starship prototype, we push it to its limits to see what it's made of. When he pulls back, he's pushing you to your limits not to break you, but to see if you'll rise. And the way you rise isn't by chasing him or begging for his attention. It's by showing him you're already on your way to the stars, with or without him. Let's get real for a second. Imagine you're working on something that sets your soul on fire. Maybe you're launching a startup, writing a book, or training for a half marathon. You're in the zone, solving problems, pushing past obstacles, feeling unstoppable. That's the energy that makes you magnetic. That's the energy that makes a man sit up and take notice. When you're so consumed by your own purpose, so driven by your own vision, his silence doesn't faze you. It's just background noise. You're too busy building your universe to worry about whether he's texting back. And when he sees that, when he sees you thriving, creating, conquering, he'll feel a pull stronger than gravity itself. I've always believed that the greatest achievements come from embracing the hard stuff. When we sent astronauts to the International Space Station, it wasn't just about the tech, it was about the courage to take on a challenge no private company had ever tackled before. In love, you need that same courage. When he goes quiet, don't let it scare you. Don't let it make you feel small. Instead, let it fuel you. Use that moment to dive deeper into your own mission. Go after that dream you've been putting off. Take that risk you've been too scared to take. Show the world and yourself that you're not waiting for anyone to give you permission to shine. Here's my challenge to you. When he ignores you, don't see it as a setback. See it as a signal to conquer your own universe. Stop looking to him to define your worth. Stop waiting for his response to feel good about yourself. You're not here to orbit someone else. You're here to be a star, a force, a woman who's building a life so incredible that it changes the game. Go after your goals with the intensity of a rocket blasting off. Create something that makes you proud, something that makes you feel alive. Because when you do, you'll find that the right man won't just love you, he'll be in awe of you, chasing your light across the cosmos.